evening, everyone.
Sir.
Good evening, sir.
Oh. Good evening, Prachi. Yeah, Bushra, not yet repaired completely?
Sir, actually the weather is not supporting my health right now. Here in UP, it's very cold. Too cold.
Very correct. It's very cold.
Good evening, sir. Good evening. How are you,
I
sir?
know. Here we have, I'm all good, sir. How about you?
Yeah, I'm also fine. So please continue your class, sir. We'll talk later. No problem. Yeah.
Sure, sir. Okay, thanks, sir. So here also we have a bit cold atmosphere today. I mean, for past 2 days it is quite windy. So वहां जैसा तो नहीं है कि धूप नहीं निकलती है, लेकिन हवा है, तो थोड़ा सा माहौल ज्यादा ठंडा है. So Ruchi, how are you? Your health is good now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Today I'm good, sir. Yes.
Look good, yeah.
Thank you, sir.
So who all are missing? Vishakha, Adiricha,
Hima is not here.
Darshan, Hima,
Devansh.
Devansh, yeah, Devansh, not Darshan, Devansh, yeah.
That he won't be able to join today's class.
Who?
Devansh.
Okay. He didn't tell us on that Saturday he was not present, na? Yeah, at the end he was not there on Saturday. Shakti is not attending for long. Any idea? Anyone has any idea?
So, no, sir. Sir, I have a question, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, regarding the syllabus and assignments or any other query, whom should we connect?
For what purpose?
For any assignment or syllabus, what has been taught or something like PDF or anything regarding administration.
So, ideally, whosoever is teaching or conducting that session should be the point of contact, either me or Archana ma'am. So, if I have
Okay.
conducted the session and you need any document of it, any literature, you can connect with me. If ma'am has taken the
Yes,
session, you
sir.
can connect with ma'am. You can put up on the
And,
group. So, either of us will revert on that. है ना?
fine, sir. PDF, I think you have shared all the PDFs.
Generally, I share. Still, if there is anything which has missed,
I have 3-4
or
printouts, I think.
yes, or if you need anything,
And
you
sir,
can put up.
so one thing, if I actually we can get all of your assignments, because I actually missed your 3-4 sessions. I actually attended a few hours, few times, but I think I missed your assignments and all. So,
Okay. Annamika, can you compile and share it again on the group, all the assignments?
Sure, sir, I'll do that.
है ना? So, put
Anamika, is there any other email ID which on which we have to send the assignments, sir's assignment, or the mail ID which Neeraj sir has given to us?
No, we are supposed to send all the assignments to Neeraj sir's ID only.
Okay. There's no personal ID of sir, as Archana ma'am gave a personal ID, and we'll have to submit all the assignments on her ID as well.
No, actually, Neeraj sir is supposed to maintain all the records of the assignments. So even if you send it to Hardik sir personally, he will again have to send it to Neeraj sir because he's supposed to maintain the records. So
Yeah, that too. Yeah, that I know. My question was, is there any personal ID he has given to submit all the assignments? As Archana ma'am gave.
I think so. He has given one personal ID. I'll share. I think it's there.
If you could, it would be very helpful. Thank you, Anamika.
Bushra, it's in group, I think. You can just check or I'll forward.
Actually, my phone was virus taken, तो सारे
Okay.
पुराने messages चले गए.
कोई नहीं, I'll share, no worries. Bushra?
Okay, thank you, Ruchi.
I'm sorry, there's some network issue. So I just got out, disconnected. You had an option not to admit me. Okay. So quickly, what we covered day before yesterday.
We had this session with sir, and then later on we were discussing the the assignment.
Correct. So bias and judgment in appraisal process, right? Okay. Today we will go through certain things about the element of appraisal form. I already informed you day before yesterday that articulation of KR and KPI. है ना? At least your HR KRs, HR KPIs, you need to articulate. Okay, so in the same fashion, KRA KPI mode में क्या क्या एक्टिविटीज है उसको कैसे क्या इंडिकेटर यूज करेंगे, उसका मेजरमेंट क्राइटेरिया क्या हो सकता है ना? So then we'll see some other elements of performance appraisal form. Okay, and then another important element of any appraisal process is about feedback. So we will see some of these in today's session. Okay, so those who have not attended, Adricha informed that she has her college classes going on, so she will not be able to attend. Vishakha, I have no information about. Then Panesh said that he'll not be able to join. Darshan, na? Okay. Shakti, I don't know. There is no information. Hima, any information about Hima? She is also not joining. I mean, yeah, day before yesterday, so she was not there. Today is also not there. Well, anyway. So those who are present, let's start with this. Okay. Can someone enable me to share the screen? Oh, thank you.
Sir, I have made you the host.
Thank you so much. Okay. Right. So we talk about all these things quickly. All right. This concept and topic we were talking day before yesterday when we were talking about appraisal. There was one area which we spoke the other day, 360-degree feedback. Just quickly, an overview about this 360-degree feedback. That it is a feedback where we collect input from superior, subordinate, and peers, and when it is necessary from external stakeholders as well, right? It is as such should be an informed process, as we were discussing the other day when we were talking with Mr. Panchal. But then again, here in our case, in our system and organization, with the psychology that we operate, generally it becomes anonymous. It remains uninformed, and then someone will collect the feedback about you. The demerit of this particular process is that you don't know who is telling what about you, or who all are being contacted to give feedback about you. And then people can be very judgmental, okay, very biased, very subjective when they share the feedback about an individual in 360-degree process. So it is, though it is a good method, if done very scientifically, it is very dangerous if left it, unattended and in a loose manner. If the inputs are not being validated, it becomes very risky and dangerous for the person about whom you are collecting the feedback, isn't it? If you are an HR manager and you are asked to take 360-degree feedback about a finance head, that you have to take 360 feedback, then you will collect input from the subordinate. By and large, subordinate will not like the bosses, so the feedback will be in that way. Okay, then you ask about the peers, people in the same line, they may be neutral, right? No, he's a good person, or at times they may be very sarcastic about their own inputs and feedback. Many times he's not cooperative, he's not collaborative, does not sanction fund on time, or based on one or two examples, they'll give the feedback. And then if you speak with his superior, generally the feedback will be that no, he's very efficient, he takes care of the finance well. Like now, you have from all these quadrants, you will have the feedback which will be of all kinds, and then you as an HR manager will have to be very careful and cautious about validating those feedbacks, that which one is valid, isn't it? Because one comment of yours will decide his career, or the appraisal or the increment or promotion or anything, right? So it has to be very, very scientifically managed activity. Questions has to be, as we say, even in any appraisal process in general, the feedback has to be very objective. Whenever you are assessing someone, make it objective, don't make it subjective. आप इनके बारे में क्या चाहते हैं, आपको कैसा लगता है? तो कैसा लगता है में अच्छा भी लगता है, बुरा भी लगता है ना. अच्छा का डेफिनेशन क्या है? इट वेरीज फ्रॉम पर्सन टू पर्सन. बुरा का डेफिनेशन क्या है? इट आल्सो वेरीज फ्रॉम पर्सन टू पर्सन. So it is always good to be very specific based on incidents. If at all someone is saying acha ya bura, ask him to narrate 3, 4, 5 examples of why acha ya why bura. Not just because the person has very easy going, so you think that no, he is not very effective. No, right? So it is very important to assess someone whenever there is a 360 feedback, that you assess on objectives, you assess on the areas of his work, the method of it's not about how he is doing, it's about the deliverables and results. All right, so this is about 360 feedback. There can be different templates. As I said, templates can be customized. You all can pick and choose the template the way you want to do it. Okay, this is just an example where higher evaluation, peer evaluation, lower evaluation, all this can be according to your own requirements and what the organization says, how it has to be. All right. This is another template that you can use. This is a blank format. I have not put up anything. So on which area, who is putting up, what is the rating, feedback questions and feedback score. So any template you can use for any of this kind of feedbacks. All right. And it is purely as per the requirement, what exactly you are targeting at. If it is appraisal, whom all you want to cover, who all are there, they will be responding, whether it be an online, offline, one-to-one discussion, how you will capture the feedback. All right. So it's purely depends on the appraiser, how they want to have the feedback about 360 degree. All right. Template. This is a sample template. You can use any template, or you can define and create one as per your own requirements, because the question and inputs may vary from person to person. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Certain templates I already shared in the previous sessions, which was on general management by objective when we were talking. That time also we had certain, small templates and samples about this
Yes, sir.
performance appraisal and competency things, right? Fine. So now another method, this also we touched upon day before yesterday when we were discussing with Mr. Panchal about balance scorecard. Hmm? So Kaplan and Norton in 1992 first published this concept in a paper, okay, about the balance scorecard, and then finally in 1996 the book was also published about balance scorecard, right?
Okay, sir.
Now this balance scorecard is a strategical tool, and as the name says, balanced scorecard, it largely focuses on four major areas of the organization. It's a strategy map for the organization to perform and excel the performance, right? Any balanced scorecard, see, ultimately or eventually, when we talk about performance management, or when we talk about performance appraisal, as we said from the session one, it is cascading. Cascading is top down. So what organization thinks or wishes to achieve, what are the vision of an organization, the organizational objectives, they need to be cascading down to the last person of the hierarchy. And all of them should have the goals and objective in sync with each other. So finance will not say that because of the cost cutting, I will not release the fund. Right? Correct. Sales will
Yes,
not
sir.
say that. Sales will not say that only to make the profit 20%, I'll increase the cost by 40%. No. Everyone has to be in sync with each other. Production will say that, okay, I'll improve my productivity by 10-15%. The purchase or sourcing people will say, okay, I'll try to manage the raw material cost by 20 or 15%. Human resources say, okay, I'll try to put up the control on overtime and headcount. Correct. And everyone put together will decide or will work to achieve that 20% net profit of the organization by the year end. At the same time, when everybody is talking about 15%, 10% reduction, sales and marketing may say, I'll increase my expenses by 20% because I want to reach to the larger market. I want to extend my presence. I want to expand my presence. You getting? So when it comes to organizational goal, when it comes to organizational objective, everybody would be contributing as per their own area of operations. Okay. So the balance scorecard, it largely focuses on four areas. It balances the focus among company finance, which is results. The very first area or very first segment, the first quadrant of balance scorecard is result. How my company's finance are being looked at. What I am targeting financially. These are pure numbers. Increase profit by 20%. Maintain operation cost. Reduce operational expenses by 10%. Increase sales by 30%. You getting? These are pure numbers which organization looks up or looks at. These are pure financial area or the business objectives or the corporate objectives.
Okay, sir.
Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, this is what we all want to achieve. Yeah. This is all we all want to achieve. And these are realistic numbers. These are actual numbers. That I'll have my sales turnover or my total sales or revenue from the sales will be 1600 crores These are actual numbers. They are real numbers. These are all arrived or derived numbers, right? So these are the financial objectives of the organization. This is aligning to your organization's mission. Now, to achieve this number, where I need to focus? I need to focus on employees. I need to focus on customers. And I need to focus on process.
Yes, sir.
Correct. So therefore, there are 4 quadrants of balance scorecard: the results, the financials, employees, customers, and internal processes.
So can you please explain this once again?
Yeah. So as we say that it is a strategical tool. Okay. And organizational strategies can be formed based on this. So there are 4 elements in balance scorecard. Number 1 are the financials or the result areas or the organizational goals or organizational objectives which are aligned with your vision. Okay, that is the first area. To attain or to meet or to be accountable for those results, the 3 other areas which we need to look into are customers, employees, and processes. So, if I say that the organizational objective is generate the revenue of 1600 crore, or the organizational objective is increase profit by 20%, or organizational objective is to reduce operational expenses by 10%. So if we take the third one, reduce operational expenses by 10%, if that is one objective, which is an organizational objective, which is the financial area or which is the result. Okay. Now from HR perspective, how will you define your KPIs for these 4 areas? If I have to reduce my operational expenses by 10%, what contribution HR will make so that this particular area has been met? You know your KRA is manpower, your KRA is capability building, your KRA is compliances, your KRA is welfare, your KRA is general administration. These are the key result areas of a human resource. From these areas, in line with customer, employee, and process, how will you align your financial objectives? What could be your KPI in terms of customer? When we say customer, you are not going to speak with external people, but for you, all department people are your internal customers. This we discussed earlier also when we say customer focus as a competency. That time also we discussed this, that any cross function is a customer for HR. To whoever you are providing services is your customer. So all the employees, all the departments are your customers because you are catering to their requirements, right?
Yes, sir.
Then you say employees. So employees means what? It's learning and development for the people, capability building of the people, and to improvise on those, what process improvements will you bring? So a KPI can be that I'll change from manual performance management system to an automated performance management system. How it will affect? It will save time. It will save time.
Yes.
It will save a lot of stationery and paper. It will save a lot of manual work, which in turn will increase the efficiency. Okay, so saving on the stationery is a tangible thing. Increasing efficiency is intangible thing. And that becomes a process improvement when we talk about balance scorecard. I'll make every employee aware about this very, this revised performance management system, this automated performance management system, thus building their capability. So this will touch upon the employee part of your balance scorecard. Similarly, I'll increase this, the satisfaction index. So employee satisfaction index, I'll increase from existing to a level up. That becomes your customer quadrant of balance scorecard, or reduction in employee grievance. That can be a customer quadrant of balance scorecard. So by addressing employees' grievances, reduction is employee grievance, reduction is customer complaint, or timely delivery of customer requirements. That becomes a customer area. So as an HR, my KPI can be, when we talk about customer, I will resolve any complaint coming to me within 1 working day. That becomes a KPI for HR when we talk about customer section. I'll provide opportunity for every employee to at least improve on one functional skill. That becomes the employee segment or employee quadrant in balance scorecard as a KPI of HR. I'll improve my existing, grievance management process. Now, when I have to do it in 1 day, I have to make certain changes in my process. That becomes internal process quadrant of balance scorecard. Put together, it will save time, it will improve efficiency. Managers will be available for other activities. Thus, I will reduce on operational cost. Thus, I'll provide more efficient system and work environment where other benefits are possible. So some can be tangible, some can be intangible. Getting?
So you gave the example of customer grievances and all those. So these are, I mean, KPIs are the indicators na, ki how we will achieve something. So that is
Correct.
these should have been the KP, I mean KRA. These are the areas where we are supposed to make changes, na?
Your area is grievance management. Employee grievance management is an area. Now, to measure the efficiency or effectiveness, what are the indicator? Indicator has number of complaints. How many grievances you received previous year? What was average time to resolve those grievances? Can be improved this year. So the reduction in number of grievances can be one area, and reduction in lead time can be another area as an indicator. Am I able to answer you?
So indicators are quantitative in nature. So I mean reduction as
True. So last year I received 100 complaints. So my KPI for this year will be I'll reduce 50% customer grievances in FY 22-23 compared to previous year FY 21-22. So this becomes quantitative indicator. that पिछले साल 100 था, इस साल 50% कम करेंगे, मतलब I'll have at least I can have only 50 complaints. Objective can be 0 customer complaint.
Sir, I have
Second
a
can,
question, sir.
yeah.
Sir, customer queries could be handled from HR point of view, or there are some persons like client manager, so they have to take care of it, or HR should handle all these things?
No. See, everyone has a customer. Everyone has a customer. For me, customer are employees. For sales, customers are users. For
Right.
production, customers are quality. So when you talk about customer grievance, anybody to whom you are providing services or product are your customers. Okay. So as an HR, what you generally do, you receive grievances from employees.
Right.
So it's not about the product. It's about the services that you are giving to your own employees.
Right.
कैंटीन में
Understood.
खाना अच्छा नहीं मिलता है, गाड़ी टाइम पे नहीं आता है, यूनिफॉर्म फटा हुआ है.
That is, sir, every time. Yes.
Correct. So
Understood,
all
sir.
these are grievances that you receive when you are in HR. Okay.
Understood, sir.
So grievance management becomes your area. Uniform distribution, canteen management, all this becomes your activities. In that activity, you have certain values. Okay, that in canteen, I received 100 complaints last year about quality of food. Okay, so my KPI for the year can be 0 quality related grievance for canteen food in FY 22-23. This can be my KPI for this year.
We maintain a register, sir, of grievance. Every month we maintain that.
True. So that from it is maintaining is you are recording all these things. End of the year, you analyze that, okay, I received so many complaints, out of which this many has been reduced, resolved, these many are open. When I resolve, this is the average number of days to resolve that issue. So next year, when I put up my efficiency curve, I'll see that number one, this grievance should reduce. Number two, the lead time to close that grievance should also reduce. So that becomes a KPI. Anamika, am I able to answer your question? Or still there is something?
So I got that that quantitative part that you said ki from 100 to 0 we want to come down to 0. But this KPI, KRA and OKRs, these are all part of SMART goals, na?
Correct.
So sir, if I want, I mean previous year we had 100 complaints and this year we are having a target of 0 complaints. So is this realistic in nature?
See, objective is 0 complaint. Your business objective is 0 complaint. There should not be any customer complaint. However, I also know that from 100 to 0 it is not possible. Right? So when I put up a KPI, I'll see that can I make 0 to any specific area? And gradually I can improve upon. So
and
when
sir,
I
we
say,
can. Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
yeah,
Sir. Yes, sir, and we have to check, sir, whether it is valid or not.
correct. So anybody will come and tell anything.
Yes.
So on the rationale, you have to see that whether it is okay or not, acceptable or not acceptable.
Right.
In any case, even if it is not acceptable, we have to communicate to them that, okay, it's not acceptable. However, it doesn't come in the complaint category as such. But whatever you have registered, whatever you have taken into consideration in your rationale, they will be of different categories. Now, that is where your HR analytics thing will come in picture. That in canteen, I can receive what kind of complaints. I cannot make it 0. That is for sure. So it cannot be a realistic way to set up my KPI when I say that, from 100 to 0. Of course, that is the objective. Ultimately, it has to be. Airtel ka ek ad aata hai. I don't know if you have seen or not. There was an ad of Airtel where they had put some numbering machines at public places. Okay, which keeps on increasing or decreasing. Right. And then they said that objective is to have it 0. But जितना कम होगा उतना अच्छा. Means they want to see zero customer complaint or grievance on a given day. So they have kept certain meters at a public places. That was then the commercial. The objective is to have it zero. However, it will also indicate how many complaints have been reduced. You know, how many grievance calls they received vis-a-vis. Same thing is with us also. So when you say that 100 to 0 is not realistic, I agree. It may not be realistic. It may not be attainable. However, it is the objective. But when I set my KPI, I have to strive for 0. I cannot do it altogether. But if I segmentize my grievances area by area, perhaps I'll definitely have 0 in that area for the next year. So when I say that I have received 100 customer complaints for canteen usage, I have to categorize that what are these complaints or what are these grievances related to hygiene, food quality, taste of food, on-time availability, courtesy of people. These are 4-5 areas in which you will receive the grievance. आज सब्जी में तेल ज्यादा था, आज खाने में नमक कम था, चावल कच्चा निकला, टेबल साफ नहीं था, लोग ठीक से जवाब नहीं देते, हम जाते हैं 11 बजे खाना ही नहीं बना होता है. These are several issues that you will face. End of the year, when you review all these things, you have to find out which area has major or maximum contribution. अगर maximum grievances हम कैंटीन में जाते हैं खाना नहीं मिलता है, इसको लेके है. This is about availability of the food. This you can very well manage, right? So in your KPI, you can always reduce that availability related issues को 0 करेंगे. That is achievable.
Yes.
Yeah, Anamika.
Yes, sir.
I'm not imposing my thoughts. You need to be agree, है ना? मतलब you should also be aligned with this. So still your yes was not very convincing. If you have still any point where you think I should emphasize, we will do it.
Sir, you said that we will segmentize this whole goal, but at the first position, sir, we have certain objective which is not attainable for us at the moment. So instead
But
of
see, we have to strive for it. Na? I will score 100% in the examination. Attainable or not attainable? Prima facie, not attainable. Yes or no?
yes, sir.
Na? Still, everybody wants 100% marks. Yes.
Correct. Yes, sir.
So the objective is 100%. The objective is 0 complaint. For me to make it 0 or to reach to 100, what I have to do? I have to make gradual efforts. I have to make gradual efforts.
Yes, sir.
एक मिनट है. Right? So attainable, achievable. That way we have to strive for that 0.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, as you said that we also know from going 100 to 0, it's not possible at one time. So why can't we do this like this year? We'll go from 100 to 50 and then 50 to 0. Like we also know that 100 to 0 is not possible. So why can't we say that 100 to 50 इस साल करते, 50 to 100 अगले साल करते?
No, मैं तो कहता हूँ 100 to 80 इस साल करेंगे, 80 to 60 अगले साल करेंगे, 60 to 40 अगले साल करेंगे. So that benchmarking depends on the criticality. Again, there your smart concept comes in picture. That 100 to 50 possible है क्या? शायद नहीं. But hygiene related zero कर सकते हैं, कर सकते हैं.
We have to prioritize actually. Then we can.
Correct.
Yes, we have to prioritize.
You can prioritize. You can see low hanging fruits can be plugged first. तो ऐसे कौन कौन से एरिया हैं जहाँ पे छोटी छोटी चीजें हैं लेकिन हम फटाफट कर सकते हैं.
So of course pantry.
Correct. So my smart goal can be that way. That
yes, of course.
This year I will make all hygiene related complaints to zero. है ना? अभी hygiene में 10 था, 15 था, 25 था, 20 था, जो भी था. Ultimately related to housekeeping. So I have to improve upon the process. Okay. So now process improvement में क्या KPI हो सकता है? I will have checklist for canteen hygiene monitoring.
Yes.
Right. I'll make one standard operating procedure that will ensure that canteen is being cleaned twice a day, deep clean every 15 days, is being monitored, checked by housekeeping administrator, and XYZ, maybe the plant head or someone else. So I'll make one process. So that becomes a process improvement. By reducing number of complaints, I am ensuring customer satisfaction value. At the same time, I'm also educating my own people on how to improve on hygiene services. So that is capability building, learning and growth. The area of employees in balanced scorecard. Ultimately, it is numbers and how you are improving upon those numbers. Correct. When we say balanced scorecard, we are aligning things with each other so that my efforts are focused in one direction. All right. Otherwise, it will go haywire. So if I pick up one area from the customer, I'll educate people on that area, which is employee focused. I improve upon the processes of that area, which becomes process focused. तो ऐसा नहीं होगा कि मैं प्रोसेस बना रहा हूं रिक्रूटमेंट के लिए, मेरा केपीआई चल रहा है कस्टमर सेटिस्फेक्शन के लिए और ट्रेनिंग में दे रहा हूं वेलफेयर के लिए. all these areas belongs to HR. All of them are applicable KPIs. However, they'll be going in 3 different directions. So instead, do all these activities, but focused about one particular action plan. You train people, you improve process, but in consideration with your internal customers. So then all these activities will be in sync and your entire process or entire strategical area will get an improvement. Right?
Right, sir.
So that is how the balance scorecard can help you when you do your performance management system. Right? So ultimately, KRA KPI has to be defined. Your goal has to be smart. All those things will remain as it is. But whenever you are making all your KRAs and KPIs, you have to, if you can compartmentalize those KRAs and KPIs in these 4 areas. One is finance, results, which talks about numbers. Okay, I'll reduce my HR cost by 10%, which means I'll not add any person in human resource department. At the same time, I'll see that efficiency is improved by 10%. Correct. So span of control can be increased. Thus, I can manage my departmental finance. I'll improve upon performance management system. I'll improve upon recruitment process. That is a process improvement. I'll ensure that all my team members get at least one functional training. That is capability building of my person. So जो recruitment देख रहा है उसको labor laws का सिखाएंगे, जो labor laws देख रहा है उसको ट्रेनिंग एंड डेवलपमेंट L&D के बारे में बताएंगे, जो L&D देख रहा है उसको वेलफेयर के बारे में बताएंगे. So this is how you will build upon the capability of the people of a department And ultimately, I'll ensure that all the internal customers who are getting services from HR are comfortable. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Is it okay? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
All of you? Okay. So now when we're talking about KRA KPIs, in previous session we talked about that for HR you will have all the KRAs and KPIs, right? Articulation.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Now when you are making those KRA KPIs, you will add one column in the beginning. You will add one column in the beginning. Okay. And put up which element of balance scorecard that is. Understood? Okay. So for example, here you say this is finance. That is the first element of balance scorecard. So what KRA you have for balance scorecard, what KPI you will have it, and how you will ensure the assessment of it. So this will have the KRAs, financial KRA of your department. Right? The KPIs, how you will monitor that. And the measurements. Correct. Then second is say employee. Okay. Then third is customer. Fourth, process. So your KPI can be in line with this balance scorecard format. So just think whenever you are putting up the KPI and KRAs, okay. So this will help you to understand the concept as such. And for you to, for you, it is important to understand this because somewhere in your organization, you will be driving it in future, right? Now, how this I'm sorry, how this overall strategy map has been drawn. If it is an IT company or ITES, so this is the entire strategy map for an IT company as per balance scorecard. So if you see, there is a vision. Vision is to transform. Purpose is to deliver mobile services which contribute to the society. There are three priorities. One is content, second is service, and third, brand awareness, right? दिख रहा है ना? So this header, vision, purpose, strategic and strategic results, they are, again, as I said, they can be customized how you want to put up the things in the presentation. Important is in niche wala portion where financial, customer, process and capacity, yeah, employee, as we talk about 4 elements of balance scorecard. So finance is what? Finance is increase revenue, increase profitability and decrease operating cost. The same thing I said just now. For an organization, I say I want to reduce operating cost by 10%, increase revenue up to 1,600 crore, increase profitability by 10%. So that is the financials. This is what we want, objective. Now for that, in customer segment, what is to be done? Improve clarity of offering. What services or product I am giving, improve upon that. Improve market perceptions. लोग हमारे बारे में क्या सोच रहे हैं, उसको improve करेंगे, तो मेरा buyer बढ़ेगा, मेरा customer base बढ़ेगा. Improve customer satisfaction. Same thing is for HR also. When I am talking about HR perspective, improve clarity of offering. What all things HR will do? How it will do? That will come in the process. What all I can do? This is what I can do. Okay. Increase the credibility of the HR. Improve market perception. Improve HR credibility. That becomes the customer area to work upon. And then improve customer satisfaction. Improve employee satisfaction index. That becomes customer kind. Internal processes. अब ये सब करने के लिए हमको क्या क्या करेक्शन करना पड़ेगा? हमको अच्छी सुविधाएं देनी है, तो मुझे मेरी जो वेलफेयर प्रोसेसेस है, मेरी जो एम्प्लॉय रिलेटेड एंगेजमेंट रिलेटेड एक्टिविटीज है, उनको इंप्रूव करना पड़ेगा. आई विल हैव टू मेक डॉक्यूमेंट फॉर ईच एंड एवरीथिंग. आई हैव टू अल्टर द प्रोसेसेस. एम आई मेकिंग सेंस? आर यू अंडरस्टैंडिंग? समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes,
Akriti,
sir.
Prachi,
Yes, sir.
Busha,
Understanding, sir.
Yes,
are you
sir.
able to understand? Are you able to
Yes,
relate
yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
it? Okay, so then you will put up the process. You will make necessary alignment in the process. And then for that process, you need to train people. Or for that customer element, you have to educate people. You have to increase the capability. So then it becomes a capability. So these are the key result areas. All these things that you see here, they are all key result areas. है ना? ये जो भी कुछ है इधर आप देख रहे हो, ये सब क्या है? These are the area of operations. इन सब जगह काम करना है. What is the KPI? These are the KPIs. Projects are nothing but the action plans. So when you put up this project with this number, it becomes your SMART goal for this particular category. By implementing new financial accounting system, I'll increase net profit by 5% per year. Okay. Yeah, these are the actions or supporting activities that will help me to bring all these things all together. Correct. So by not adding additional manpower to the HR department, I'll try to maintain the operating cost to existing cost. Or I will not take any replacement in this year in case there is a voluntary separation to maintain the operating cost or to reduce the operating cost. Or there can be straight away, I will reduce transportation cost by 3%. तो मेरा जितना भी बस, गाड़ी, ट्रक, घोड़ा दौड़ रहा है, उसको मैं इस तरह से यूटिलाइज करूंगा कि उसका जो खर्चा है वो 3% कम हो. तो अगर 1 करोड़ खर्चा किया है तो उसमें 3% कम, 3 लाख रुपया कम खर्चा हो. Right? So this way I will define my KRAs and KPIs in line with my balance scorecard. So this is what I just said, that whenever you are defining your own KRA and KPI, please put up in parlance with balance scorecard. So finance, customer, internal process, and employee, or the capacity building, or learning, whatever name you want to give to the 4th quadrant, you can use it. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Then it comes to rating and appraising. So rating, it can be 5-scale rating, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can name it A, B, C, D, E, A+, A++, something, whatever it is. 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, 5 star, whatever it is. Okay, generally this is how it is measured. The first or the least is non-performance or poor, who have done performance below 80%. Now this 80, 70, 60, 40, that again depends on the management. that what this could be. क्या होगा उसके नीचे का वैल्यू को अपन नॉन परफॉर्मेंस गिनेंगे. 80% है, 70% है, कोई बहुत क्रिटिकल एक्टिविटी है, तो हो सकता है उसमें हम बहुत ज्यादा हाई या स्ट्रिंजेंट टारगेट नहीं होगा हमारा. सो इन दैट केस इफ इट इज 50% से नीचे किया तो ही नॉन परफॉर्मर है. 50% के ऊपर अचीव कर लिया है तो ठीक है, चलेगा. Because there is a risk, there are health hazards, there are other associated conditions. Then you can have 80 to 90% is okay. ठीक ठाक है, मतलब जितना करना चाहिए था उसके आसपास है. Then 90 to 100% है, मतलब उसने अपना टारगेट अचीव कर लिया. 100 से ऊपर निकल गया 10%, वेरी गुड, ओवर अचीव्ड. और उससे भी ऊपर निकल गया है ना 20-22%, 25%, 100 करोड़ करना था 150 करोड़ कर दिया. Oh, it's excellent, right? And then becomes the implications or actions that if it is excellent, you can have super incentives. For good, you can have incentives. For achieved, there can be incentives, there cannot be incentives. So it depends on the management. Then below achieved, अगर achieved से कम है, थोड़ा बहुत आसपास पहुंचा है, तो उसको थोड़ा सा कोचिंग का ट्रेनिंग का जरूरत पड़ता है. तो थोड़ा सा उसको बिठाएंगे, समझाएंगे, काउंसलिंग करेंगे, तो उसका परफॉर्मेंस शायद इंप्रूव हो जाएगा. और जो नॉन परफॉर्मर है उसको रखेंगे पर्सनल इंप्रूवमेंट प्लान में, सो दैट उसका डे टू डे कोचिंग, डे टू डे ऑब्जर्वेशन, डे टू डे फीडबैक, all these things will be required. And then if the same thing continues, perhaps you may say, Baba, it's not working, तुम तुम्हारा देख लो, है ना. पर वो तुम तुम्हारा देख लो should not be very often. These are the rare events that is to be done because it ultimately spoils the credibility of the organization, credibility of the people, and it questions the leadership. Okay. So weeding off is not a solution. However, how you can bring them from 1 and to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5, this is where the leadership matters and it counts. All right. So this is how you rate your performance appraisal. Correct? So far, what all things we did in performance management system, can we quickly sum up? क्या-क्या चीज देख लिया हमने performance management system में? See, does it make any structure? Does it make any structure in your mind, in your brain, that ये फिर ये फिर ये फिर ये फिर ये? Does it make any sequence there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is it?
So the step by step what we have covered till now.
Yeah.
Sir, types of motivation,
Correct.
theory X and theory Y,
Right.
biases and judgment,
Correct.
performance appraiser and their tools,
Correct.
and then KRA, KPI and OKR.
Right.
Then performance appraisal tools like 360-degree, balance scorecard, and rating.
Okay, fine. So the sequence becomes that first I'll set up the objectives. There are corporate objectives.
Sir,
I'll make a frame. Yeah, Akriti, you're saying something?
sir, in starting, we learn about the 5 steps: planning, monitoring, developing, rating, and reward.
Correct.
Then
Correct.
how to make an effective PMS.
Right.
Then organizational benefit and personal benefit to the employees.
Correct. So this entire thing, how benefit, personal, organizational, all these things will set the framework for your performance management system. And this will give the outline that how it should be, what are the areas it should target, what are the areas it should look up to. Correct. So that becomes the very first, the bada wala block, which will tell me how I can define my performance management system. Okay, what next, Akriti?
After this, Busra told.
Okay, after the Bushra told. Okay, so motivation and those theories, these are the concepts that we also need to understand, that how one will improve the performance. So अगर appraisal के बाद में हमको लगता है कि उसका performance kam zyada hai, so then I'll see both the things. I'll see in individual when we talk about the type of motivation, intrinsic and extrinsic. And the second I see about the organizational culture, theory X and theory Y. है ना? Whether I am dominative, whether I am authoritarian, or it's a participative. Correct? And accordingly, I can make a combination of all these things. So once I make a framework, so first I'll decide what are the organizational objectives or goals. Okay, organizational objectives and goals. From there, I'll cascade down with this understanding of balanced scorecard, the broader aspects, 4 key quadrants. For every quadrant, what can be the KRA? For each KRA, what can be the KPIs and their measurement mechanism? And then what could be the rating scales? Right? So developing, then capability, then rating. So we are on this rating. And when you will articulate your own KRAs, when you will do it for your own, so when we will be articulating our own KRAs and KPIs with this framework, it will give you more clarity. So next week, when we will be discussing your KRS KPIs, we will have more discussion on these areas, right? But this is how you will have your benchmarking. So this is the indicator. If I say that I want to bring my complaint from 100 to 50, or if I want to reduce 50%, so 50% criteria is achieved. 50% criteria is achieved. So if I have reduced complaint by 50%, it will achieve. If I have reduced complaint by 10%, it is poor. If I have achieved the complaint reduction by 30%, it is okay. If I reduce by 50%, it is achieved because this is what I had targeted. If I reduce complaint by 70%, it is overachieved. I had targeted 50% reduction, but I reduced 70%. तो पहले 100 आता था, अभी खाली 30 आया. Overachieved. If it is 90% reduction, it is extraordinary. So पहले 100 आता था, अब 10 ही complaint आया. It is excellent. So this is how you will monitor. All right? Understood?
Yes,
Clear?
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Prachi? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So now from this is about the mechanism. Okay, this is about the process. Now to capture all these things, what you need is a document. है ना, गोल होना चाहिए, केयर होना चाहिए, ये होना चाहिए, वो होना चाहिए, रेटिंग स्केल होना चाहिए, मेजरमेंट होना चाहिए. ये सब करने के लिए हमको एक जगह चाहिए ना, कहाँ करेंगे? So either we have an online system or an offline system. Whatever it is, whether it is an online or offline, assume that you have to design one appraisal form. You have to design one performance appraisal form. Now this design, there is no standard of this design. है ना, इसका कोई ऐसा कानून में फॉर्मेट नहीं दिया गया ऐसा ही होगा. This format will vary from company to company, from person to person. Okay, from objective to objective. But every such document or every form, every appraisal form will have certain elements which are mandatorily available. How you have organized depends on, again, individual's creativity and data capturing requirements. Correct? स्कूल में एडमिशन के लिए एक फॉर्म होता है, बराबर है? स्कूल में एडमिशन का फॉर्म होता है ना?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
आप कहीं ट्रैवल करते हैं तो एक रिजर्वेशन का फॉर्म होता
Yes, sir.
है ना? रेलवे का अलग फॉर्मेट होगा, बस का अलग होगा, हवाई जहाज का अलग होगा, आपके स्कूल में एडमिशन लेना है तो अलग फॉर्मेट होगा, बाजू वाले स्कूल में लेना है तो दूसरा फॉर्मेट होगा, मेरे यहाँ के लेना है तो तीसरा फॉर्मेट होगा. सबके फॉर्मेट अलग अलग हो सकते हैं, लेकिन हर फॉर्मेट में कुछ एक चीजें ऐसी होंगी जो हर फॉर्मेट में कॉमन होंगी और होनी ही चाहिए, है ना? कहाँ लिखा है, ऊपर लिखा है, पहले लिखा है, बाद में लिखा है, वो सब चीजें अलग अलग वेरी हो सकती है. बट व्हाट आर द एलिमेंट्स दैट अकॉर्डिंग टू यू आर मैंडेटरीली रिक्वायर्ड इन एनी अप्रेजल फॉर्म, चाहे ऑनलाइन हो या ऑफलाइन हो? कौन कौन सी इंफॉर्मेशन हैं जो हमको कैप्चर करनी पड़ेंगी, या कौन कौन सी चीजें हैं जो उस फॉर्म में होनी ही चाहिए? Yes.
Sir, the goal and objectives and how much it is achieved by the employee.
Okay, so you say that there should be goals and objectives, that is your KRA and KPI. Then the achievement, how much you have achieved to that, perfectly all right, I agree. What else? What else?
Sir, self-evaluation.
Self-evaluation, okay, perfect. So you have goals, objectives, your self-evaluation, and achievement.
People analytics. People analytics.
Like people analytics means what?
Sir, means how our peer group or how our seniors think about our
No, that becomes
performance.
360-degree performance appraisal. Oh, 360 oh, that will be a different format. But that can be okay. That can be if it is 360-degree. If you are following 360-degree method along with your MBO, so yes, there can be those columns. But generally, it doesn't happen. These are two separate activities that takes place. है ना? Yes. What else?
Sir, targets.
That Akriti said, no, objectives
Yes,
and
targets. Yes.
and achievements, vis-a-vis. Or क्या?
Sir, performance improvement plans.
Performance improvement plans, yes, मतलब the area of improvement.
Yes,
है
exactly.
ना, for the person. Correct. Okay, what else? और कुछ रह गया? Anything left? Okay, see, the key elements which you will have, whatever you have said are right. They are the part of your performance appraisal form. The very first thing is appraise these details. The first thing is appraise these basic informations. Right? So when you say basic informations, uska naam, code, department, designation, date of joining, date of birth, whatever you think are relevant to that particular exercise or activity, qualification, that becomes appraises basic information. है ना? क्या क्या हो सकता है, क्या क्या चेक करेंगे आप अगर किसी का अप्रेजल कर रहे हैं, तो कौन कौन सा इंफॉर्मेशन यू वुड थिंक रिलेवेंट?
Sir, his position in the organization.
Correct. So first is his code, है ना? उसका एम्प्लॉय कोड, उसका नाम, उसका डिपार्टमेंट, उसका डेजिग्नेशन, उसने कब ज्वाइन किया था, उसका क्वालिफिकेशन क्या है ना? ये कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट इंफॉर्मेशन हैं जो उस आदमी के बारे में हमको हमारे उस पर्टिकुलर फॉर्मेट में होनी चाहिए, बिकॉज इट विल हेल्प यू टू टेक सर्टेन डिसीजंस, है ना। उसका कितना एक्सपीरियंस है, उस एक्सपीरियंस के हिसाब से उसका रेटिंग है कि नहीं, उसका क्वालिफिकेशन के हिसाब से वो काम कर रहा है कि नहीं, तो ये सब चीजें रेडिली अगर अवेलेबल होगी तो इट विल बी इजी फॉर अप्रेजर। ओके, सो फर्स्ट इज अप्रेजीज बेसिक इंफॉर्मेशन, सेकंड इज अप्रेजर्स बेसिक इंफॉर्मेशन। तो अप्रेजर में एक इमीडिएट सुपरवाइजर हो सकता है, एक उसका रिव्यूअर हो सकता है ना। अप्रेजर का इन्फॉर्मेशन क्या हो सकता है? अप्रेजर का इन्फॉर्मेशन हो सकता है उसका कोड, उसका नाम, डिपार्टमेंट एंड डेजिग्नेशन। उसमें हमको ज्यादा फिर जरूरत शायद नहीं पड़ेगा, उसका क्वालिफिकेशन, एक्सपीरियंस, उसका सबका जरूरत नहीं है ना। सो अप्रेजर्स बेसिक इंफॉर्मेशन, अप्रेजीज बेसिक इंफॉर्मेशन, objectives to be assessed, है ना, the smart goals. So you will have a column which will talk about your KRAs, their indicators and assessment criteria, right? So when we say objectives to be assessed, this is nothing but your KRA, KPIs and measurement criteria. As I said, the format can vary from person to person, from company to company. Next will be the rating, as you said, Busra. It is self appraisal, खुद का assessment. ये objective पे मैं कहाँ हूँ. Appraisal will rate, and then there can be a reviewer, a level up. Above the appraiser, maybe department head, function head, HOD, plant head, है ना. They can be the reviewers. मतलब मेरी और मेरे बॉस में अच्छी जमती है. You and your class teacher, you have very good rapport. तो तुमने पेपर में कुछ गलत लिखा तो वो खुद अपने पेन से ठीक करके आपको 100 मार्क्स दे देते हैं, राइट. बट फाइनल एग्जाम में द इन्विजिलेटर विल बी फ्रॉम आउटसाइड. पेपर चेकिंग के लिए दूसरी जगह जाएगा, प्रैक्टिकल का असेसमेंट करने के लिए बाहर से आएंगे, है ना. सो दैट इज अ रिव्यूअर. सो वो देन दे विल नॉट बी पार्शियल, दे विल नॉट बी बायस्ड. दे विल सी एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम हाउ यू हैव परफॉर्म्ड एंड अकॉर्डिंगली दे विल रेट, है ना. बोर्ड एग्जाम का इंपॉर्टेंस क्यों ज्यादा है? इसीलिए ज्यादा है ना, बिकॉज इट इज रिव्यूड by some third person also, correct. So then appraisal rating is required, self rating है, appraiser का rating है, reviewer का rating है. Then you may add what competencies you are assessing. KRA तो क्या है? एक्शन है, टारगेट्स. उसके अलावा how he did. तो then competencies to be assessed. What all competencies are required to be assessed for that individual, for that position? You can have some corporate competencies, you can have organizational level competencies. Okay, so if those to be assessed. Developmental needs, that can also be a part of an appraisal form, जहां उसका training need आ सकता है, उसका behavioral improvement need आ सकता है. So developmental needs can also be a part of appraisal form, right? So out of discussion, out of appraisal process, what are the areas where you want the development, and finally the
development
feedback.
needs in terms of appraisee or appraiser?
Appraisee, of course तुम्हारा है ना, टीचर का थोड़ी.
Okay sir.
टीचर आपको अप्रेज करेंगे तो अप्रेजी का ही नीड ढूंढेंगे ना, भाई तुम्हारा अंग्रेजी में कम है, ट्यूशन लगा लो, मेरे आया करो, अगली बार से मार्क्स अच्छे आएंगे, है ना. तो इट इज डेवलपमेंटल नीड ऑफ अप्रेजी. आप तो बोलोगे नहीं तुमको पढ़ाना नहीं आता है. So it is appraisee's developmental need. The appraiser what feels like, right? And then finally the appraisal feedback about appraiser and reviewer. बराबर, ये अच्छा है, ये खराब है. You want any break in this session, or we should continue? हम चार यहाँ एक दूसरे के सामने हैं. बाकी लोग मैं आशा करता हूँ कहीं ना कहीं से जुड़े होंगे शायद. So their opinion may not count. But if you all wish, we can break for a 5 minute. If you wish, we can continue. Choice is purely yours.
So class is for 1 more hour.
Yeah, we'll continue till 8:30 or so.
So shall we take for 2 minutes only, sir?
Yes, yes, yes. Choice is yours.
If all are agree, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay.
2 minutes only.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So we come back again in 3.
Yeah, sir. 2 minutes. Yes, sir.
Let me know once everyone is back. Okay. Now, the important element about feedback. Appraisal feedback or generally any feedback. So feedback is what? Feedback is the conclusion of your entire appraisal process. है ना? मुझे क्या करना था, मैंने टारगेट सेट कर दिया, साल भर काम किया, या every month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, whenever I did my work, I kept on recording, and then there will be one day when you will be discussing with your manager, or your manager will discuss with you about the entire process, है ना? About the entire KRA, KPI, goal settings and everything, that what is the current status. This is plan versus actual. So feedback is that assessment process, right? आप बातचीत करते हैं, you speak with each other, and then you agree upon certain things. Correct? So self-appraisal, you have your own KRAs and KPIs. You did your assessment. Appraiser gave their assessment. You said I'm excellent. He said, no, you have not performed well. So your assessment rating is 5 for self-assessment. Your manager rating is 1. So gap is 4. It's a huge gap, na? Okay. Or you said I'm excellent. He said, no, you have just achieved. So what is the difference between understanding why you say it is excellent for you, why he thinks it is just achieved? Okay. So all these discussions are nothing but the feedback sessions. Now for feedback, what are critical things one must remember or one must keep in mind is that it is a process of communication, and it is between your manager and employee. Right? Tomorrow you can lead the department and you can give a feedback to your subordinate. Today you may be on the receiving end when your manager would be giving you the feedback. Okay, that no, this is good, this is bad. This is how you should have done. This you have done is extremely well. Correct. So whatever is there, this is the feedback. So today you can be on the receiving end. Tomorrow you can be on giving end. Many times,
vice versa.
Yeah. Many times your parents tell you that you have done good. You have done very well in the examinations. It is a feedback. When you cook food, if it tastes very good, you get appreciation. Okay. When you cook food and if there is additional salt, namak zyada hai, आज खारा हो गया, है ना? So this is a feedback. तुम्हें खाना बनाना ही नहीं आता. This is also a feedback. है ना? Both of these are feedback, which are for your improvement. So by saying आज नमक ज्यादा है, this is one way of giving feedback. कैसा खाना बनाया तुम्हें, खाना बनाना नहीं आता. This is also a way of giving feedback, right? How to give, you should know, which will help an individual to make, improve upon. That is important. It is not criticizing someone. It is for the improvement plan. So the very first thing is that employee should need it. An employee should be ready to accept the feedback. कभी भी कहीं भी नहीं. Right? Then the one to whom you are asking, he should give comment on whatever area it has been discussed about. कभी भी किसी भी चीज को लेके बात करना, it is not advisable when we talk about performance appraisal. है ना? और गॉसिप करने के लिए तो सब कुछ चलता है. But when we talk about performance appraisal, you have to be very specific. As a manager, one has to be very specific. Because these are sensitive things. हमको अभी हम पढ़ रहे हैं तो हमको शायद इतना sensitive matter ना लगे, because we are just studying the concept as such. But those who are working in the industry, those who are already a part of the appraisal process, they know how good or bad you feel when you receive, a feedback, a comment, a compliment. है ना? हमको भी अपना पर्सनल लाइफ में कोई बोलता है बहुत अच्छा बच्चा है, आपकी बच्ची बहुत अच्छी है, बहुत शालीन है, very decent. You feel happy about it, isn't it? If someone appraises you, your conduct, your behavior, your nature, you feel happy about it, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
At the time, sometimes ऐसा होता है ना कि आप किसी घर गए या कोई आपके घर आया और बाद में आपकी इमेज बिगड़ के जाएगा, कैसी बच्ची है यार, पापा मेरे को सुनती नहीं है ना? पूछने पानी मांगा, मतलब पानी मांगा तो दिया, ऐसा नहीं खुद से लेके आए, नमस्ते नहीं की, isn't it? So all these are the feedbacks. But then every employee should first give the comment about his or her work areas. Then employee identifies what he want to tell and what went well. क्या अच्छा किया. Appraisee should also identify what went well. क्या अच्छा हुआ. At the same time, manager or the supervisor will also identify what went well. That is the positive side of the feedback. साल भर में साहब मैंने 25 रिक्रूटमेंट किए. So as an employee, I am proud of it. है ना? In the entire year, I filled 25 positions. It's an achievement. I want to identify this. I want to tell this. Manager will also endorse that yes, you have done very well as far as recruitment is concerned. Employee states what could be improved. सर मैंने 25 पोजीशन क्लोज किया, लेकिन इसका टाइम है ना जरा ज्यादा लगा. मतलब ये 25 पोजीशन मुझे 9 महीने में क्लोज कर देना था. Means I can identify that I need to improve upon certain processes. Same way, manager will also tell you what needs to be improved upon. And finally, both you and the manager or you and your subordinate must agree on the action plan. तुम गधे हो कह के छोड़ने का नहीं. तुम गधे हो लेकिन ये करोगे तो घोड़ा बनोगे. You also agree कि हाँ साहब मैं अब तक गधा था, लेकिन आप ये जो कह रहे हैं ये सब मैं करूंगा तो गधे से घोड़ा बन जाऊंगा. तुम अच्छी बच्ची नहीं हो, तुम शैतान बच्ची हो. लेकिन अगर तुम सुबह उठोगी, पापा की बात मानोगी, तो तुम शैतान बच्ची नहीं रहोगी. So you also agree. तुम अड़ जाओ ना, मैं शैतान नहीं हूं, मैं तो बहुत सीधी हूं. तुमको कैसे बोला मैं शैतान हूं? How dare you call me naughty? I am not. So then there is no agreement. When there is no agreement, there is no scope of improvement. So when you say, okay, I am not naughty, your manager or your, जो रिश्तेदार है वो भी मानते हैं, हाँ नहीं ठीक है, बहुत नहीं लेकिन थोड़ी शैतान हो, है ना, कभी कभी तो बर्तन तोड़ती हो ना. तो then you agree, हाँ 2-4 बार तो ऐसा हुआ है. So then becomes one synchronization. You agree. You and your manager agree on the areas that needs improvement. And then you decide the action plan that okay, इसको ऐसे करेंगे, तो ये मैं सीखूंगी, ये मैं खुद करूंगी, इसके लिए मैं अलग से पढ़ूंगी, isn't it? So this is the entire feedback mechanism. That one, the employee is ready to listen because it is accepting things. है ना, खाली बोलने से नहीं होगा, वो जिसको बोल रहे हैं उसको समझना पड़ेगा ना, उसको भी रिसीव करना पड़ेगा. Then what went good and what are the area of improvement, and finally you need to agree upon it. Correct? So these are the basic feedback elements. Correct? There are generally, we say, 4 areas when we talk about feedback: formal, informal, negative, and positive. Formal, informal, negative, and positive. So negative, positive हमने अभी बात किया ऐसा. Positive is appreciation, negative is criticism. है ना? So can Prachi, will you give an example about positive feedback? Any example?
So, real life based example or just a general example?
No, if it is a real life example, nothing better than that.
Okay. Positive feedback. When a person, suppose I'm in a class and when my teacher compliments me about something like, Prachi, your handwriting is good.
Correct.
So that
Is
can be
positive
a
feedback. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, so any input given to you which appreciates is a positive feedback. Okay. So Akriti, any negative feedback?
Yes, sir. If our teacher told me that I am not good enough or my handwriting is very bad.
Correct. So when you say not good, the good is a very subjective word.
Yes, sir.
है ना? So as you said that your handwriting is very good, it is very specific that the compliment or the feedback is about the handwriting, because you know it is good or bad. Of course, for you it can be good, but generally you understand that okay, यार इतना अच्छा तो नहीं है, मोती जैसे अक्षर नहीं मेरे, या है जो भी है ना? Okay, so when your teacher tells you that your handwriting is not very good, it can be a negative feedback. Okay. Any other example, Ruchi?
Sir, if my sir says that, ma'am, you need to improve in your communication skills to understand people or to communicate with other employees, I think that
Is
would be
that
a
positive or negative?
That is negative, I think, to improve. If he says that it is good, but you need to improve, then it is
Okay.
positive.
Okay. Fine. And no, but if he said that your skills are very poor, if your communication skills are very poor, you don't know how to talk, it becomes negative feedback. When he says that, okay, you improve upon your communication skill, I'll see it as a positive feedback. You speak, but you need to improve upon your, you need to improve the way you speak, perhaps. So then it becomes a positive feedback. You know? Then the way feedback can be given, it can be 2 ways. One is formal and another is informal. Formal is structured. Your appraisal feedback is always a formal feedback. It is always structured. You know when to give, how to give, for what you want to give. Right? It is always a structured feedback. The time is decided, periodicity is decided, the area for which the feedback is required is decided. So it is formal feedback. It is always structured feedback. Informal is on anything at any point of time is informal feedback. आप सुबह सुबह ऑफिस आए, आके बैठे हो, है ना, you came आके बैठे हैं और किसी ने आके बोल दिया क्या यार आप तो बड़े अच्छे लग रहे हो, यू लुक गुड, नाइस ड्रेस, नाइस शर्ट, इनफॉर्मल फीडबैक। एक दिन उसने बुला के बिठाया, कल सुबह या every Monday we will sit and talk about your attire, your business attire. It becomes formal feedback.
Yes, sir.
He'll speak about what, how, when, where with specific incidents. Correct. And informal is anytime. कभी भी कहीं भी कुछ भी बोल दिया मतलब feedback, आपको बताया कि ये अच्छा है या गलत है, सही है या गलत, then it becomes informal feedback. It is not documented. Formal is documented. You script it. You put it as a record. Informal, it can be comment or compliments passing. है ना? So these are the two ways a feedback can be given. Now, appraisal feedback is always a formal feedback. You always do it formally. You decide that yes, this is the periodicity, this is the date when we will have this feedback, and this will be purely about your KR and KPI. बाहर आदमी से झगड़ा किया, तुम्हारा स्वभाव ठीक नहीं है, न दारू पीते हो, न सिगरेट पीते हो, न ये लफड़े हैं, nothing doing. None of these points will be discussed. It will be purely about your performance, right? So then it becomes formal feedback, and it's for appraisal, it is always formal feedback. Other things can be informal, or certain things can be also done informally sometimes. Correct? Which is not documented, it is quick and the passing comments kind of things. There is no hierarchy as such. You don't need not have a supervisor, manager will come and tell you. Anybody can give that feedback. So which becomes an informal feedback. है ना? Yes? No? Agree? Disagree? समझा? नहीं समझा?
Yes, sir. Agree, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Sir, I'm sorry, I lost my connection that time.
No. So you want me to repeat anything?
No, sir. Fine. It was fine.
Now, what is the process? The feedback process. The process of feedback is generally a 3-step process. So you schedule, you prepare, and you do it. You schedule, you prepare, and then execute. So when we say scheduling, we decide the frequency, how often we will have this feedback communication. It can be monthly, it can be quarterly, it can be half-yearly. साल में एक बार is not good. It can be after any specific event. So you already have you already have a process said that every 3 months you will have appraisal reviews. Correct. So which will help the appraisee to improve upon if he is lacking on someone. है ना? क्लास में हर महीने टेस्ट होता है?
Pardon?
क्लास में हर महीने 2 महीने में टेस्ट होता है ना? Generally, every quarter you will have one small test, unit test, है ना?
Yes, sir.
2 महीने में एक यूनिट टेस्ट होगा, फिर उसके बाद 2 महीने में दूसरा यूनिट टेस्ट होगा, फिर 5वें महीने में हाफ ईयरली होगा, फिर 6ठे महीने में यूनिट टेस्ट होगा, 8वें महीने में यूनिट टेस्ट होगा, और साल के आखिर में एनुअल होगा. अब पूरा साल एक भी एग्जाम ना हो, एक भी टेस्ट फेस्ट ना हो, कोई सरप्राइज टेस्ट नहीं, कुछ नहीं, सीधा सालाना एग्जाम, सीधी वार्षिक परीक्षा, तो क्या होगा?
It would be difficult, sir. Yes.
हाँ, मतलब मुझे आखिरी एग्जाम के टाइम पे मालूम पड़ेगा कि मैंने क्या पढ़ा क्या नहीं पढ़ा, है ना? लेकिन ये जो पीरियडिक टेस्ट होते हैं, हर महीने महीने होता है, 2 महीने में एक बार होता है, उससे मुझे मेरा स्टडी क्या चल रहा है, मेरे मार्क्स कैसे आए, कम है तो बढ़ा सकते हैं क्या, ज्यादा आ गए तो कम तो नहीं हो जाएंगे, ये हम कर सकते हैं ना असेसमेंट हर 2-2 महीने पे, है ना? ये असाइनमेंट, Why these assignments? Because this is just to refresh. हम जो कर रहे हैं, हमने जो पढ़ा, हमको याद है कि नहीं? Okay, so scheduling is a process when you decide how often you will discuss the performance of an individual. It is not necessarily only annual. Your final outcomes can be annual, but your appraisal feedback can be monthly. Every month, you and your manager can sit together and discuss that these are my KRAs, KPIs, and this is where I am. उससे हमको खुद भी मालूम पड़ेगा ना कि हम कहाँ पे हैं. So this is scheduling. Scheduling is how often we will meet, how often we will sit and communicate about the appraisal feedback process. ये आपके क्लास के यूनिट टेस्ट जैसा है. Again, it is mutually decided and agreed upon between manager and the subordinate. There can be some systematic schedules. Annual appraisal meeting are necessary, but वो annual appraisal meeting में झगड़ा ना हो. फाइनल एग्जाम का रिजल्ट आने के बाद आप जाके आपके टीचर को झगड़ा ना करो, पापा मम्मी मारे नहीं, है ना, घर से निकलने की नौबत ना आए. इसके लिए हर महीने महीने एग्जाम देके रिजल्ट देखना पड़ेगा. तो पापा मम्मी को भी पता चलेगा कि हाँ भाई ये अभी देखो 70-80 आ रहा है, तो एनुअल में भी इसके आसपास आएगा, है ना. एनुअल में 90% मार्क्स आए, पिताजी गरम, मम्मी नाराज, क्यों इतना कम आया? उनको पता नहीं कि हर महीने एग्जाम दे रहे थे उसमें इतना ही आ रहा. So scheduling is important. How often you can do, and it is as quick as possible. Monthly reviews can be done, bi-monthly can be done, quarterly can be done, but definitely not once in a year. That is not an advisable way of appraisal feedback. Your ratings can be once a year, but feedback has to be as frequent as possible. Correct? Rating is final assessment. तो वो साल में एक बार होगा तो चलेगा. बुशरा, any question?
No, sir.
Okay. Akriti?
No, sir.
Then comes preparing. So you schedule. Once it is scheduled, your feedback appraisal discussion has to be prepared. It has to be prepared by both the appraisee and the appraiser. For appraiser, it is more important to prepare because he or she will comment. ये तुमने नहीं किया, ये अच्छा नहीं किया, ये ऐसे करना चाहिए था. Appraiser has to prepare because he or she will have to defend or justify that why this is done, why if I have achieved, I have achieved, why if I have not achieved, I have not achieved. Where are my personal laggings? Where are the support that could not come to me, right? So manager should be well prepared. That is first thing. Location has to be appropriate. So it has to be a formal meeting in conference room, in meeting room, at isolation places where you have least disturbances. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So many times, as I have seen, managers are not able to convince them and let them know that what is lacking. Then they come to HR manager only.
HR manager can have the observations.
Yes.
Again, HR manager can have the observations about competency.
Yes.
About the values, about target, HR cannot directly comment on. Okay, so
Yes.
the role of HR should be in any appraisal process. It has to be very much clear from HR perspective that they will communicate everyone about the process.
Process, right.
They'll tell what can be an objective appraisal. So target has to set smart. This is what HR has to communicate. Measurement unit has to be very specific that HR has to communicate. Eventually, it is appraisal and appraisee who will decide. In case of any confrontation, if it comes to HR based on the observations can perhaps comment, but it cannot decide upon.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Sir.
So the second step is preparing. Preparing is manager must be prepared well because he or she will have to rate. है ना, or he or she will have to correct the appraisal, self appraisal. So if you said you are excellent, he said he is 1, he need to be ready to justify why he said 1. Okay, your 5 can be your own whims and fancies, but his 1 cannot be his whims and fancy. His 1 has to be substantiated by facts, by values. That why 1, right? Location can be appropriate. It has to be a silent place, isolated place where there is no disturbance. बार बार कोई आ रहा है, गुजरा है, ये सर मैं कम इन सर, साइन चाहिए, ये चाहिए, वो चाहिए. Nothing doing. For that half an hour, 1 hour, you are exclusively for this discussion. If you have a team size of 10 people, don't put all 10 on the same day. Do it 2-2-2. Let it be 5 days activity. But then make sure that you are, for that duration, you are available for that person. Employee should also be well prepared, and he should also have his own self-assessment done, so that if the manager is saying something that you have not done well, and if he has not done his self-assessment, he will simply agree or disagree, right? So in this particular case, self-assessment is required. And the third one is conducting. So conducting is what? Conducting is when you are doing these appraisal discussions, how you will do this. So generally it is tell and sell. Tell and sell means I am telling and this is final. मैंने कह दिया और यही है. That is tell and sell. So manager will tell ये गलत है, ये सही है. That's all. And there is no counter appeal, no me lord. है ना? So it's all tell and sell. That is first approach. Second approach is tell and listen. So I'll tell, then you have to speak something, you will speak and I'll listen. I'll try and we will speak upon. We discuss. Tell and listen. Third is, which is the most ideal one, which has to be problem solving. That this is the assessment rating. I say you should be 5. You are 3. Tell me what are the reasons. Okay, these are XYZ factors. This XY you have to do. This Z factor I'll help support. So talking to people is your work. I will not do this. I'll coach. Correct. So this is problem solving. So either of this approach can be adapted when you are discussing. Right? Making sense?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, to make your appraisal feedback a successful feedback, there are certain areas which you need to remember. The first thing is, of course, we will talk in this, but the fundamental or basic line for everybody, everywhere, for everyone. The feedback has to be sandwich feedback. How is sandwich? What is sandwich? You know?
Layer by layer.
Layer by layer. तो क्या है ऊपर और नीचे का, ऊपर का लेयर और नीचे का लेयर क्या है?
Bread.
Bread. और बीच में?
Vegetables and all the masalas.
है ना? So you put mayo in that, you put vegetable, you put chopped vegetable, you put potatoes or anything. So your feedback should also be a sandwich feedback. When we say sandwich feedback, whenever you are giving feedback to anybody, this is applicable to anyone, everyone, anywhere and everywhere. When it comes to giving feedback, आप क्लास में बात कर रहे हैं, आपको टीचर बोलते हैं क्लास के बारे में कोई ओपिनियन दो, आप आपके फ्रेंड से बात कर रहे हैं, वो पूछता है कि मुझे कुछ बताओ मेरे बारे में, मुझे क्या इंप्रूव करना चाहिए, क्या खराब है, क्या अच्छा है. तो डोंट स्ट्रेट अवे जंप ऑन ये कर दे, ये कर दे, ये खराब है, ये खराब है, ये छोड़ दे, वो छोड़ दे. डोंट जंप ऑन दैट. Your feedback has to be sandwich feedback. तो सैंडविच में फर्स्ट लेयर जो है ना, जो ऊपर का ब्रेड है, they are always positive feedback. Everybody in his course of life or for the period for which you are assessing must have done something good. है ना? अभी जैसे वो हैंड राइटिंग वाला बात था, हैंडराइटिंग गंदा है, ये फीडबैक देना है। अब सीधा तुम बोल दोगे कैसा गंदा हैंडराइटिंग है, तो जो रिसीविएंट है, जिसको जो फीडबैक रिसीव कर रहा है, उसको तुरंत ऐसा लगेगा ना, हर्ट हो जाएगा। इट मेक्स एन इमोशन इम्पैक्ट ऑल्सो, इजंट इट? खुद का राइटिंग तो देखो, मुझे बता रहे गंदा है, खुद जैसे बहुत अच्छा लिख लेते हैं, चींटी की टांग जैसा अक्षर है उनका। But then if I tell you that Akriti, your book is very neat and clean, it's very well maintained, isn't it? You have covered it, आपने उसको जिल चला के रखा है. Okay, so you have maintained your diary or your book very well. It's very neat and clean. No overwriting, nothing. However, I think you should improve upon your handwritings. It will look better. है ना? So, good thing. The first layer is about the first bread, upper bread is about positive things. What good is there in that entire activity, process, period, whatever it is? है ना? Then you add that element where you want some corrections to be required. रोटी अच्छा बना लेती है बेटा, है ना? थोड़ा सा नमक ज्यादा है, अगली बार ध्यान रखना, लेकिन गोल बनती है. So the upper crust is खाना अच्छा बना लेती है, रोटी अच्छा बना लेती हो. It is positive feedback. नमक कम है, ध्यान रखो, it is an area of improvement. And गोल बनती है, it is again a positive value to conclude. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So feedback, whenever you are giving to anybody, this is very conscious thing that you will have to do. ये बहुत सोच समझ के करना पड़ेगा. By default तो हम सीधा criticize पे चले जाते हैं, है ना? अगर खाना अच्छा नहीं बना है तो हम सीधा पहले बोलते हैं कि अच्छा नहीं बना है, आगे पीछे हम कुछ बोलते नहीं. But then when we talk about feedback, appraisal feedback, anywhere when we talk about psychology, this is how the feedback should be. You will always tell the good thing first, the area of improvement, and when you conclude on the positive note, not on the negative note.
So it's like first strength, then weaknesses, then how to overcome it.
Yes, if you understand that way, that is also. So when we talk about strength, it's about what good have done, है ना? And then area of improvement, and then again, so it will be like this, that what good has been done, that is the first thing, area of improvement, and what are the potentials of strength you have, है ना? तो तुम कर सकते हो, you can do this, I know, you have done it in the past. So this is how you will put up the coating, right? The other areas, the other thing is, one is timely. Timely का मतलब है जब आपको लगा आपने उसको कमेंट करना है, जब आपको लगा आपको उसको फीडबैक देना है. So then it will be effective feedback, है ना? यूनिट टेस्ट में फेल हो गए, फाइनल में बता रहे हो, है ना? आज खाने में नमक ज्यादा है, 5 दिन बाद बता रहे हो, झगड़ा कर रहे हो उसको लेकर. ओ सोमवार को रोटी बनाया था, सब आटा जला दिया था. अरे सोमवार का था, सोमवार को बताते तो मंगल को अच्छा बन जाता. सोम मंगल बुध गुरु 5 दिन बनाए, 5 दिन कुछ बोले नहीं, छठे दिन बोलते रोज रोटी जला देते. अरे जब पहली बार जला उस दिन बोल दिया होता दादाजी, तो दूसरे दिन ध्यान रखा होता ना. So it has to be timely, it has to be on a specific time, it has to be specific. Specific मतलब किस चीज के बारे में फीडबैक है, no general things. तू तो ऐसा ही है यार, तुझे कुछ आता जाता नहीं है, no. When I'm talking about only about the handwriting. I'm not talking about your study, I'm not talking about your personal affairs, I'm not talking about your behavior, I'm not talking about the nature, I'm only talking about that specific thing. It has to be descriptive. specific about that thing only with all facts and figures. I have seen all your notebooks. Though all are very good, but your handwriting is same in all these books, which is not good and you need to improve upon. Descriptive. It has to be in such a way that it will help someone to work upon. है ना बेटा? अगली बार नमक में ध्यान रखना, तो सही में ध्यान रखेंगे जब आप रोटी बनाएंगे, है ना? हैंडराइटिंग पे थोड़ा सा ध्यान दोगे तो हो जाएगा. तो नेक्स्ट टाइम व्हेन यू राइट ना, यू पे अटेंशन. So your feedback has to helpful. It has to help someone to improve. You should give both negative and positive feedback at the same time. अगर है तो, जैसा अभी हमने बात की, आप अगर कुछ बुरा कह रहे हैं तो उसके पहले अच्छा बोल के फिर उसका बुरा बोलो, तो उतना ज्यादा इंपैक्ट नहीं आएगा और आदमी रिसेप्टिव है, एक्सेप्ट करेंगे. It is feedback about the action. It is feedback about the subject. It is feedback about your key result area. So there should not be any blame. कोई गाली गलौज नहीं, उसको खराब लगाने के लिए हम फीडबैक नहीं दे रहे हैं. तू गधा है, हाँ ठीक है गधा है, बट उसको ऐसा बोलोगे कि तू गधा है, बुरा लग जाएगा बेचारे को. So don't blame. But you can always tell that boss, you're not very effective. You take more time to understand. So better improve upon, you have more readings. I think KRA, KPA समझ में नहीं आया तुमको, तो I suggest that you should read. ये बुक है, ये मैं रेफर करता हूँ, इसको एक बार देख लेना. या ये वीडियो है, just watch this video 5-10 minutes and then you will have a fair idea or you have a better idea. So feedback is definitely not to blame someone. तुमने ये नहीं किया, तुमने वो नहीं किया, तुम्हें ये नहीं आता, तुम्हें वो नहीं आता, तो किसी काम करनी हो. No. ये करना था, तुमने इसको ये चीज अच्छा किया है, ये एरिया ऐसा है जहां पे तुमको थोड़ा सा ध्यान देने की जरूरत है, और ऐसा करेंगे तो हो जाएगा. एंड इट इज ऑलवेज कंस्ट्रक्टिव. कंस्ट्रक्टिव मतलब आपसे बात करने के बाद, आपके फीडबैक देने के बाद वो इंप्रूवमेंट की तरफ ध्यान देगा. तुम एकदम गधे हो, तुम्हें कुछ आता जाता नहीं है, तुम जिंदगी में कभी कुछ नहीं कर सकते, वो सही में कभी कुछ नहीं कर पाएंगे, है ना? But when you tell that, see, your performance is not good in XYZ area, let us do one by one. हम पहले इसके ऊपर काम करते हैं, फिर इसके ऊपर करेंगे, फिर इसके ऊपर करेंगे. It will motivate someone to improve the performance. So timely, specific, descriptive, helpful, sandwich, no blame game, and constructive. Correct? Understood? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Great. So, this is how it is. This is what it is about the feedback. So we talk about appraisal 360 degree. We talk about balance scorecard, the strategy map, and we talk about appraisal feedback. If anyone has any query, any question, please let me know. Yeah, we have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. So we are clear about the assignment? Okay. So Bushra, can you frame and put up in the group the assignment? Because today many of them are not present. So you have to simply add that line, that whatever KRA, KPI you will articulate, that will be in line with the balance scorecard.
Balance scorecard.
Components, right? Fine. So this was about the entire performance management system. There is one more assignment. I'm adding. This is to design a performance appraisal form. individually you will design a performance appraisal form. Okay, so I've already informed, we have already discussed what are the elements an appraisal form can have. So you can have the research. I've already shared in the previous presentations the template, sample templates. You can use that. You can Google, but don't keep the Google as it is. Whatever you're Googling, apply your own thought on that. You can simplify or complicate that. And then you can develop upon it, right?
Yes, sir.
So 2 assignments. One is designing an appraisal form. And second, articulating HR's KRA KPI in line with balance scorecard.
Sir,
Yes.
परफॉर्मेंस अप्रेजल सभी लेवल के लिए होना जरूरी है मींस
हाँ, सबके लिए, सबके लिए तरीके अलग अलग हो सकते हैं. सॉरी,
मींस मोस्ट जूनियर टू मोस्ट सीनियर फॉर एवरीवन.
एवरीवन.
ओके सर.
Even for the workers also. If you want to improve your organizational performance, you have to do the appraisal of everyone. As we were talking the other day, it can be formal, it can be informal, but appraisal would be happening. You are increasing salaries, you are giving incentives, you are appraising people. So appraisal is happening anywhere, in any way. Correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. So 2 assignments, and that we will see coming week. Hai na? So next Saturday, what is the date?
$29.
29th. Okay. 29 and 30. So we can have it on 29th, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Asha. Can we have this session at 5 o'clock on 29th?
Sir, actually that time I have my university classes.
Okay. So it is possible only on 6th at 6 p.m., right?
Yes, sir.
Fair enough. Okay. So then we'll connect again on 29th evening, 6 p.m. All right. And we will discuss about these 2 assignments.
The morning hours also we can, you can take if all are.
I can.
So classes, university classes
I'll
hote
be
morning.
happy. Saturday रुचि का छुट्टी होता है इसके लिए.
Yes, sir. That's why I told that I am free, sir. That day.
Correct.
Sir, at morning university classes are being conducted.
So they run till 6 in the evening. पूरा दिन.
Yes, sir. By giving break 1 or 1:30 hour break, and then they continue.
Fine, then कोई option नहीं दूसरा अपने पास. No worries. Fine. So 29 6 p.m. we'll connect and we'll have this assignments, right?
Yes, sir.
And so you can put up in the group, Bushra.
Okay, sir.
Fine. So no, any questions? If someone has, please.
Sir, timing from 6 to 8, na?
Same. Then we'll have the regular अपना जो रोज चलता है.
Any 2 hours
उसी
when we
तरह से.
start.
हाँ, correct. So the way we are doing 6 to 8, we'll continue the same thing. 6:15 से 8:15 8:30 जो भी हो. उस दिन हम खाली असाइनमेंट डिस्कस करके चाहिए तो कंक्लूड करेंगे. We will not have any new topic. है ना? And anything about this topic we will discuss that day. So that day we may have classes from 6:15 till 7:30 or 8, not entire 2 hours. We may not have, not necessarily. Out of discussion, if it goes to 8:30, that's fine. It's okay. Right?
Okay, sir.
Right. So thank you for respecting my time. Yesterday I could not make it. Today
It's
many
fine,
of
sir.
you could not make it. So it's okay.
Thank you so much, sir, for your.
Thank you, sir.